we have a Clayton Kershaw injury update. As we know, Kershaw hurt his toe last Friday in Game 1 of the 4-game set against the Arizona D-backs. And we might have a better idea on when Kershaw is going to come back after today. Hey, this is Mike Nelson of Dodgers Digest. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the almost 13% of you that have subscribed, but 86% of you have not hit that subscribe button yet. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any big Dodger news. Just get right into it. As I mentioned, Kershaw got an update today from Dave Roberts, who said that Kershaw's going to have to need to wear a walking boot and is likely to require scans on that injured toe. That is just some tough news to hear. Although, we got maybe some kind of somewhat good news that, Kershaw was able to play some catch on Sunday, just the day after, going on the injury list. This was, of course, yesterday, which was probably a good sign. But basically, after today's report and, the words from Dave Roberts, it looks like the return for Kershaw is still uncertain. Just some tough news to hear, to say the least, for Dodger fans, as we know the Dodgers are up against it when it comes to injuries and in the pitching rotation especially. Kershaw will be eligible to return on September 15th. That's the first day, basically, was put on the IL. So it's of course, has to wait a couple weeks till he's eligible to return. So that's tough to hear because, wearing a walking boot basically signifies that Kershaw is probably having some pain, as we know, in the toe. We know there's swelling going on. That's already been reported. So that's tough to hear that it looks like, going to have to wear a walking boot and, on the injured list for a few more weeks. So it's still kind of all up in the air, when he's going to come back. But, also the Dodgers are hopeful that Kershaw is going to come back, this season, right? Dave Roberts, like I mentioned about the swelling in the toe, they're going to kind of wait and see until that swelling in the toe goes down until they give a timeline. That's what Jack Harris of the LA Times reported through Dave Roberts. If the swelling doesn't go down, then we're, talking about a longer absence, right? I mean, that's unfortunately how it's going to go. Wearing the walking boot, we'll see how that helps out. But if the toe doesn't swell down with the treatment he's receiving, then they're going to have to wait and see, even longer when he can return. They said, like I mentioned, the toe will dissipate. Hopefully the swelling will go down. But he's also hopeful that, Kershaw is going to come back before the end of the season. So there was some good news there, at least that it looks like, they're hoping. They're not saying Kershaw is out for the year, because this late in the year, unfortunately, when you have injuries like this, I mean, there's not much room here. I mean, there's only a month left, so it's either now or never, right? If Kershaw doesn't get healthy soon, he isn't going to be playing for the Dodgers this year, right? And just, we saw him pitch on Friday in a really, really tough game, really, really, really bad start for sure for Kershaw. And it was pretty tough to watch, right? It was one of those situations where you saw Kershaw, kind of really struggling. And at the time, I wasn't sure whether it was injury related or not. I mean, I couldn't tell for sure that this was injury related. I was just saying, wow, I mean, Kershaw really is not pitching well today. But now, as we get the report, and, we saw Kershaw leave the game after the Carroll home run. It was clearly injury related. I mean, that's the reason why Kershaw was so erratic in that game, and his velocity was completely down. And you see that home run pitch. I mean, it was under 70 miles an hour, the pitch, which is extremely slow for a major league pitcher. Although Kershaw's velocity is down, like we talked about here on the show, but the pitch under 70 miles an hour. It clearly was injury related. Just can't get any lower body strength to throw the ball when you're having a bone spur in your toe. That's basically what Kershaw has, a bone spur that is leading to the swelling in the big toe, left big toe there. So that's the situation with Kershaw. It's definitely tough to hear for Dodger fans because, we already got Yamamoto, who's, looking like he's going to come back soon. Glasnow is totally up in the air. And then, as we know, Buehler's playing, but he doesn't look like the same Walker Buehler from 2021, I'll tell you that. That's the rotation is very thin. The pitching rotation is so thin at the moment. Jack Flaherty is like literally the guy that's kind of holding it all together right now. And Gavin Stone, although we saw what happened with him over the weekend. So just a really concerning for the Dodgers. And that's where if I want to be objective, which I try to be, although I am a Dodger fan, the Dodgers are going to have to get some elite pitching from somewhere in starting pitching, right? I mean, they're going to have some pitcher get hot come playoff time. There's just no way they're going to be able to score, like 32 runs like they just did against the D-backs over the weekend in the playoffs. I just don't see, even against this same D-backs team, potentially. They could potentially play the same D-backs team in the first round, and I just don't see them scoring all those kind of runs. They're going to have to get some better pitching from somewhere. And the Kershaw injury just makes it harder to really feel confident that it is going to come from somewhere, right? I mean, that's what I think everybody's kind of worried about, that the Dodgers are just not going to have enough pitching to win a World Series, despite having the best lineup I've ever seen in my lifetime. This is the best offensive batting lineup I have ever seen, top to bottom. You got Freeman, you got Betts, you got Ohtani, you got Will Smith. I mean, all these guys can hit. Chris Taylor's getting hot. It's just it's a stacked lineup. Teoscar Hernández, can't forget about him, who came out of nowhere. I mean, I know the guy was already somewhat of a star before he came to the Dodgers, but I mean, nobody expected him to have this kind of year. He almost hit for the cycle today. I mean, just all those performances, it's just going to be hard to really continue that in the playoffs. You're going to have some, I think the Dodgers need at least two good pitchers come playoff time, right? Two good pitchers that they could rely on, like say, we got Glasnow and we got Flaherty, right? I'm just, for example, right? We got these two guys, they're both hot, both give them the ball in game 1, game 2 of whatever, NLCS, World Series, and they're going to get the job done. The Dodgers need at least a couple guys. I mean, 3 or 4 is asking for a lot. But they just need a couple guys to be consistent come playoff time that will get them through, 6-7 innings on a consistent basis. It's only a month long, the playoffs, although it does seem like forever with all the games and so much that's happening, but it's not so long. Just got to find a way to get those two elite pitchers, whoever they are. And, I'm going to leave you with this because I know we're all really pumped up here tonight with the Dodgers. The Dodgers, of course, defeating the Arizona D-backs today in a thrilling game at Chase Field for us fans. 3 out of 4. Just really pumped up. So, I don't know if you guys remember a few years back, the pool celebration. Yeah, you remember the pool celebration the Dodgers had at Chase Field that ended up, causing some issues for the Arizona D-backs fans. Yasiel Puig right there, Kershaw. Just a funny situation, to say the least. The pool celebration that, the Dodger fans and Dodgers themselves really had themselves an awesome afternoon when they clinched the National League West, if I'm not mistaken. Where was the pool celebration today? I mean, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see them go and jump in the pool again. Why not? I mean, I know D-backs fans don't like it, but too bad. I mean, you lose like that at home. That's what you get. You get the opposing team celebrating in your pool like this happened years ago. Why? I mean, I would have liked to see it. I would have liked to see a pool celebration. I saw some people on social media, mentioning they would have liked to see it as well. That was just such a fun afternoon. The Dodgers clinching the division and them jumping in the Chase Field pool. Would have been nice to see Ohtani jumping in there and Freddie Freeman and, I don't know why Kershaw this time, with the walking boot, but our thoughts to Kershaw. I don't know if he would have been able to go in the pool this time. Maybe get on the side there. Maybe put the right foot in, but not the left foot. I mean, that would have been really fun to watch, the Dodgers celebrating the pool. Just a great day for Dodger fans. Remember, subscribe to the channel. Let's go, Dodgers.